The Lion King movies hide a mystery that many fans have missed. A lost prince named Kopa, Simba's firstborn son. He appeared in official Disney books, had his own adventures, and was next in line for Pride Rock's throne. Then he disappeared without a trace. In The Lion King 2, we met Kiara, Simba's daughter, but Kopa vanished completely. Never mentioned again. Today, I'm telling you the shocking story of Disney's forgotten lion prince. This isn't just another theory video. The evidence exists in official Disney publications. The books sold thousands of copies. Kopa had his own character arc, his own friends, and his own place in the Pride Lands hierarchy. His disappearance created one of Disney's biggest unexplained mysteries. The story of Kopa reveals something fascinating about how Disney handles their characters and universes. It shows what happens when book universes collide with movie franchises. And most importantly, it uncovers why certain characters vanish from beloved stories. By the end of this video, you'll understand what really happened to Simba's firstborn son and why his story matters more than you think. After The Lion King's incredible success in 1994, Disney wanted to expand the Pride Lands universe. They created The Lion King, 6 New Adventures, a series of books that continued Simba's story. These weren't just regular tie-in books. They were official Disney products, approved and promoted by the company itself. In these books, Disney introduced a character who would change everything: Kopa, the son of Simba and Nala. The books positioned him as the next king of Pride Rock, following directly in his father's footsteps. Disney invested heavily in these books. They appeared in major bookstores across the country. The marketing campaign included advertisements, displays, and promotional events. The company treated Kopa as an important addition to the Lion King family. The books reached thousands of young readers. Children connected with this new character, who combined Simba's playfulness with the weight of royal responsibility. Soon, Kopa became as real to fans as any character from the movies. Kopa's design perfectly balanced familiar Lion King elements with unique traits. His golden fur matched Simba's, creating a clear family connection. His brown tuft of hair, the beginning of his future mane, set him apart from other cubs. His eyes sparkled with the same curiosity that got his father into trouble. But Kopa wasn't just a copy of young Simba. He showed wisdom beyond his years, often stopping to think before acting. His favorite phrase, "Wow, cool," came out whenever he learned something new about being a future king. He asked questions about everything, driving Zazu crazy but making Rafiki proud. The books showed him making friends with different animals, breaking traditional boundaries. He particularly bonded with a cheetah cub, similar to how Kiara would later befriend Kovu. His adventures taught lessons about leadership, friendship, and responsibility. Every story revealed new aspects of his personality: brave but cautious, playful but dedicated to learning, royal but relatable. The Kopa books transformed the Lion King franchise. Sales numbers soared past Disney's expectations. Bookstores struggled to keep copies on shelves. Parents reported their children reading the stories repeatedly, memorizing Kopa's adventures word by word. Fan mail poured into Disney offices. Young readers drew pictures of Kopa, wrote their own stories about him, and begged for more adventures. The character appeared on unofficial merchandise as his popularity grew. Fan websites dedicated entire sections to analyzing his stories and character development. Disney recognized they had created something special. Kopa connected with audiences in a way few book-only characters managed. He added depth to the Pride Lands world, showing what happened after the first movie's happy ending. The book's success proved audiences wanted more Lion King content. It showed how the franchise could expand beyond movies while maintaining its core themes of family, responsibility, and growth. 1998 brought the announcement that changed everything. The Lion King 2 was coming to screens, Initially, fans celebrated. The books had proven people wanted more stories from the Pride Lands. Surely, they thought, this meant Kopa would finally appear in a movie. Disney started releasing promotional materials, showing glimpses of the next generation. But something felt wrong. The images showed Simba with a cub, but not Kopa. Instead, they introduced Kiara, a princess who would take her own path to the throne. Confusion spread through fan communities. Questions flooded Disney's mailboxes. What happened to the prince everyone knew from the books? Had the character been transformed? Would Kopa appear later in the movie? Disney's silence only fueled speculation. The mystery of the missing prince began, starting conversations that continue today about what really happened behind the scenes. The Lion King 2 brought a dramatic change to Pride Rock's family tree. Kiara stepped into the spotlight as Simba's only child, strong-willed, independent, and determined to find her own path. She shared some qualities with the book prince: curiosity about the world beyond Pride Rock, and struggles with royal responsibilities. But Kiara's story took a different direction. The movie focused on forbidden love between enemy prides, with Kiara falling for Kovu, an outsider. Her tale became one of breaking barriers and bringing peace to divided lands. The plot worked perfectly for a princess challenging traditions. The movie portrayed her as an only child, with no hint of a brother's existence. This created a massive change in the Pride Lands timeline. All of Kopa's adventures, his friendships, and his lessons about becoming king disappeared from official history. Parents who bought the books for their children now faced tough questions. How could they explain why Simba's son vanished? The change forced them to separate the book universe from the movie universe completely. Kopa's removal created ripples through the Lion King timeline. The books showed specific events: Kopa learning royal protocols from Zazu, forming friendships with other animals, and preparing for his future role. These stories filled the gap between the first movie and the sequel. The Lion King 2 erased these events entirely. More notably, Simba's personality shifted dramatically. In the Kopa books, he appeared as a confident father, trusting his son to learn from mistakes. But with Kiara, he became overprotective, constantly fearful of danger. This transformation puzzled fans. What caused such a drastic change in Simba's parenting style? Some suggested trauma. Perhaps something happened to Kopa, making Simba terrified of losing another child. Others pointed to the time gap between stories, suggesting Simba's experiences as king made him more cautious. The movie never addressed these changes, leaving fans to piece together their own explanations for the missing chapter in Pride Rock's history. The simplest explanation for Kopa's disappearance comes from Disney's content hierarchy. Not everything approved by Disney automatically becomes part of the main storyline. The books, despite their official status, existed separately from the movie universe. This practice happens frequently in major franchises. Star Wars, Marvel, and other Disney properties often have books and comics that movies later override. A darker theory suggests Kopa's fate tied directly to Zira's banishment. Supporters point to clues in The Lion King 2. Zira's intense hatred for Simba, her mysterious exile, and the unexplained conflict between the prides might all connect to Kopa's story. The theory proposes that Zira killed Kopa during the conflict that led to her banishment. Supporting evidence appears throughout the movie. Zira speaks of past wrongs with bitter anger. Simba shows unusual hatred toward the outsiders, beyond what their loyalty to Scar might cause. The intensity of their conflict suggests something personal and tragic. This theory adds emotional depth to both characters. It transforms their hatred from political to deeply personal, making their eventual reconciliation through their children even more powerful. The production-focused theory suggests Kopa became Kiara during movie development. Movie scripts often transform significantly from concept to screen. Characters merge, change, or disappear as stories evolve. The theory proposes Disney altered Kopa's character to create their first African-inspired princess. This change would make strategic sense. The late 1990s saw growing demands for diverse representation in animation. A strong female protagonist could attract wider audiences and break new ground for Disney. The switch from prince to princess might have happened naturally during story development. Industry veterans confirm such changes happen regularly. Initial concepts rarely survive unchanged through production. Characters evolve based on test audiences, marketing research, and creative inspiration. The transformation from Kopa to Kiara might represent normal movie-making evolution. This explanation focuses on practical filmmaking rather than story mysteries. It shows how movies adapt and change to meet audience needs and industry trends. Behind-the-scenes documents reveal how Disney's creative teams shape their stories. During The Lion King 2's production, multiple factors influenced their decisions. The team wanted to tell a Romeo and Juliet story in the Pride Lands. This plot required a princess character who could fall in love with an outsider. The switch also presented an opportunity to create Disney's first African-American princess character in animation. Neve Campbell's casting as Kiara marked an important step forward for representation in animated films. These creative and cultural factors shaped the final movie. The team chose to focus on new characters rather than maintain continuity with the books. This decision matched standard industry practices where movie storylines take priority over other media. The introduction of Kiara instead of Kopa reflected these shifting priorities. The change influenced how future Disney projects handled their characters. Kiara's character broke new ground for Disney. She showed young viewers a princess who challenged traditions and fought for change. Her story addressed themes of prejudice, unity, and acceptance, messages that resonated with audiences worldwide. The controversy surrounding Kopa's disappearance also changed how fans interact with franchises. They became more aware of the different universes within single properties, learning to navigate between book and movie versions of stories. Fans refused to let Kopa fade into obscurity. They created detailed artwork showing him with Kiara, imagining them as siblings. Fan fiction writers developed complex stories explaining his absence. Online communities dedicated entire sections to preserving information about the lost prince. The fan response transformed Kopa into something unique, a character who lives entirely through fan dedication. Websites archive every mention of him in Disney materials. Fans study old interviews with book authors and movie creators, searching for clues about his fate. New generations discover Kopa through these passionate communities. They share theories, create tributes, and keep his memory alive. Some fans still campaign for his inclusion in future Lion King projects. Their dedication proves how fictional characters can impact real people. This grassroots preservation effort shows the power of fan communities. They maintain interest in forgotten characters and pressure studios to acknowledge fan favorites. Kopa's story changed how Disney manages their extended universes. The company strengthened coordination between different departments: books, movies, merchandise, and marketing. They developed clearer guidelines about character continuity across formats. The Lion King franchise continued growing, but with stricter story consistency. Later projects showed more careful planning of character relationships and timelines. Disney learned valuable lessons about fan attachment to characters, even those from supplementary materials. The mystery also influenced other studios. Entertainment companies now pay more attention to maintaining coherent storylines across all media formats. They recognize that fans invest emotionally in characters regardless of their origin. Modern franchise management shows the impact of this lesson. Studios create detailed plans for character development across multiple platforms. They consider fan reaction more carefully when making significant character changes. The ghost of Kopa still influences how companies handle their fictional universes. Kopa's disappearance remains one of Disney's most intriguing mysteries. More than a simple creative decision, it represents the complex relationship between studios and fans. His story shows how characters can transcend their original purpose and find new life through fan dedication. The official explanation may never come. Perhaps it was just business, movies taking priority over books. Maybe darker story elements got cut from the final version. Or possibly the changing cultural landscape demanded a different kind of character. But Kopa's legacy lives on. He proved that fans can keep characters alive beyond their official existence. His story changed how Disney handles their extended universe and influenced modern franchise management. Tomorrow, I'll reveal another Disney mystery: why Scar was the rightful king of Pride Rock. Hit subscribe to catch that video and more untold stories from your favorite movies.